If you load up a barbell and try to replicate an elite bodybuilder's routine step by step without the right physical foundation, you are going to crumple. Chris Bumstead recently dropped his top 10 exercises for building muscle, and while a list from a 6-time Mr. Olympia carries weight, his physical starting point and specific goals look nothing like yours. Copying these exact movements is a trap unless you map out the precise mechanical reason he chose them in the first place. Building muscle safely requires you to assign each lift to a specific individualized outcome, rather than just throwing as much iron on the bar as possible. We can organize this approach using a table that splits the gym population into 3 separate camps. First is the aesthetic optimizer. This lifter prioritizes pure symmetry and a tight waist, even if it costs them raw functional strength. Next is the longevity lifter. Usually older or working around past injuries, their main target is joint health and training without cane. Finally, we have the foundation builder. This is the everyday trainee who simply needs to pack on total body mass and baseline strength. To extract any real value from Bumstead's list, you have to decide which of these columns you belong in. Your answer dictates the specific trade-offs you'll make on the floor. This scorecard classifies the dumbbell and incline presses. The inputs focus on mechanical execution, tucked elbows, and retracted scapulas. This generates a deep range of motion, protecting the rotator cuff. The trade-off? It forces drastically lower weight, stripping out ego lifting entirely. Because it prioritizes joint preservation over pushing maximum pounds, this setup becomes non-negotiable for the longevity lifter. This new scorecard tracks the chest-supported row. The specific input, pressing against a pad, removes the need for core stability. Biomechanically, this takes the lower back out of the equation, forcing maximum isolation onto the upper back and lats. Standard heavy rows require massive oblique activation to stay stable. Over time, that constant tension causes a lifter to develop a blocky waistline. By contrast, Bumstead relies on the chest pad to deliberately avoid that oblique growth. It protects his V-taper and keeps his waist narrow. The cost here is highly specific. You preserve the tight silhouette, but you are actively sacrificing the development of real-world functional core strength. That trade-off makes the chest-supported row a prime tool for the aesthetic optimizer and a suboptimal choice for anyone looking to build athletic power. Next, we evaluate the lying hamstring curl and the incline dumbbell curl, 2 movements built entirely around exploiting muscle stretch. These exercises force the tissue to handle maximum load while sitting in its most stretched and vulnerable position. Putting a muscle through extreme tension right at its absolute end range is a highly effective mechanism for forcing targeted hypertrophy. If you let your form slip, speed up the tempo, or skip your warm-up, that deep stretch can easily snap a hamstring or tear a bicep. These lifts deliver potent results, but navigating that risk requires the strict discipline and control of an advanced bodybuilder. Our final scorecard covers massive, multi-joint compound movements like barbell squats and deadlifts. They pack on the highest degree of overall mass and central nervous system strength. The massive trade-off is extreme systemic fatigue and the highest long-term tax on your joints. Because the toll is so heavy, many elite bodybuilders phase them out entirely once they have attained enough mass. They are a strict requirement for the foundation builder, but completely optional if your priority is longevity or visual symmetry. Let's map your choices on this flowchart. For high-mileage shoulders, route directly to tucked dumbbell work. Chasing a visually tiny waist, the tree points to chest-supported rows. But if raw thickness matters more, follow the path to heavy free weight pulls. Foundation builders must prioritize squats and deadlifts, accepting heavy systemic fatigue as the required cost. Aesthetic optimizers should lean into supported isolations like chest pad rows, trading away core strength. And for the longevity lifter, swallow your ego, drop the weight, and prioritize tucked dumbbell movements to extend your lifting lifespan. Range of motion and heavy loads are simply variables you manipulate for a specific physical result. Determine what your body actually needs, and stop treating elite bodybuilding routines like a religion.